All right, well, we'll go ahead and get started. I know we may still have a few people hopping on. I believe it's in the middle of passing period right now. But I want to make sure we have enough time for our student panel. So my name is Kate Crow, and I'm the Iowa State Admissions Counselor for the Des Moines Public Schools. So for those of you here today, I will be working with you the next year as you're getting ready to apply to Iowa State. And today I'm going to give a short presentation about Iowa State and the admissions process, and then we'll have a little bit of talk about the ISU for You Promise program here. And we have a couple people on to talk about that. And then at the end of our time, we will actually hear from some current Iowa State students about their experiences at Iowa State. And that is really a time to ask current students any questions you have about college. So if you have any questions you've been wondering about, keep them in mind. And when we get to that time, I'll have you put those in the chat and we will ask our panel to answer those questions. While I'm speaking during the presentation, I would please ask that you keep your mics muted today. If we get to that panel portion and you want to unmute, you are welcome to. Otherwise, we can just utilize that chat feature. I will have that pulled up during the meeting, so feel free to drop any questions you have in there. If you want to turn your camera on, you are more than welcome to do so. We would love to see all of your faces, but if you feel more comfortable keeping that off, that is perfectly all right. So let's start today by talking about academics at Iowa State. As you can see on the screen, we are broken up into 6 different undergraduate colleges. And I'll go through those in just a second. But for my students out there, if you've thought about what you want to study when you get to college, go ahead and put those in the chat. I would love to see what you're all thinking about pursuing. So the first college that we have here is going to be the College of Agriculture and Life Sciences, and that is going to house majors like agronomy, animal science, and agriculture business. Our Ivy College of Business is going to house majors like finance, marketing, and entrepreneurship. Our College of Design has some of the top ranked programs in the country, including our architecture program and our interior and graphic design programs. Our College of Engineering is our largest college here on campus with about 14 different majors to choose from. So we have computer engineering, cybersecurity, mechanical, and we have a brand new one this year, environmental engineering. Our College of Human Sciences houses everything having to do with people. So our School of Education is in that college, along with majors like kinesiology, dietetics, and fashion merchandising and design. And lastly, we have our College of Liberal Arts and Sciences, which is our most diverse college here on campus. That's going to house about 50 different majors, everything from math, physics, biology, to sociology, psychology, and music. So we have about 100 different majors that are spread throughout the colleges here. And up on this next slide, you can actually see all of those. So if any of you are thinking about pursuing a certain area, go ahead and put that in the chat. I would love to hear what you're all thinking of studying. You can see the different colored arrows that go next to the majors here are which college those majors reside in. And let's say that you don't know what you want to study when you get to college. Well, that is perfectly all right. In fact, a lot of our freshman class actually comes in what we call an open option student. And just like it sounds, that means you're keeping your options open. Maybe you're still deciding between a couple different majors, or maybe you have absolutely no idea. So what we do is we pair you up with an open option advisor, and it's their job to check in with you throughout that first year, see how things are going. And then they'll also help you create a schedule with a variety of different courses to make sure that you're getting some experience in different areas. Usually by the end of that first semester or even first academic year, students have a really good idea of what they want to study and they can declare their major then. Shifting gears here, let's talk a little bit about getting involved at Iowa State. As you can see from that first bullet, we have over 900 clubs and organizations. So there are a lot of ways to get involved. Some of those clubs are going to be more academically based, and some of those clubs are going to be more social or activity based. So on that academic side, if you're looking to meet people in your major, meet people with similar interests as you, that is a great way to do so. Some of those clubs are going to be more project based. So for example, one of our engineering clubs actually built a solar car and they take it around the country and they race it at different places. Some of our clubs, like the biology club, will actually bring lecturers in to talk to their students about new and exciting things in the field of biology. And some of our clubs during non COVID years will actually go out and take some fun trips. So they'll go to vet clinics in the area for their pre vet students. And a couple years ago, they actually went on a pet food, pet toy factory tour. So there's a lot of really fun ways to get involved academically. But maybe you're just looking to have fun outside of the classroom, do something totally different. Well, basically, any activity you can think of, there is a club at Iowa State for it. We have stand-up comedy club, we have knitting club, we have hammocking club. We even have a lettuce eating club on campus where once a year students will race to see how fast they can eat a head of lettuce. You'll also see down there that we have about 10,000 students each year participate in intramural sports. So if you're looking to stay active outside of high school, joining an intramural or a club sport is a great way to do that. We're hoping some of these other things like study abroad will be coming back now that hopefully the pandemic is on its way to be over. If you want to get involved in student leadership, honors program, those are all great ways to meet new people and get more involved with the university. And we'll be asking our panelists later how they have gotten involved at Iowa State. So remember, if you have any of those questions, keep those in mind for a little bit later on. So now that we know a little bit more about what it's like to be a cyclone, let's talk about your journey to becoming a cyclone. At Iowa State, we are going to look at three pieces of information when we're looking at admissions. And that first piece is going to be these core courses that you see on the screen here. At Iowa State, we are going to require 4 years of English, 3 years of math, 3 years of science, and 2 years of social studies. If you're interested in anything in the College of Liberal Arts and Sciences or the College of Engineering, you're also going to need 2 years of foreign language. Now, you can be admitted to Iowa State without that foreign language, but just know that you will have to take those classes once you get to Iowa State. The other two things we're going to look at are going to be your GPA and your ACT/SAT score. We're going to put those pieces of information into what we call the Region Admissions Index formula, or our RAI formula. And basically, if students get a score of 245 or higher, they will be admitted to Iowa State. Now, I'm thinking I have mostly juniors in my audience today. So this year and next year is a little bit different. Due to the pandemic, we know that a lot of students didn't have the opportunity to take the ACT/SAT, or maybe they could only take it once and didn't have a chance to try and increase that score. Because of that, we are actually test optional for this year and for next year. So if you are a junior in the audience today, that means that you can apply to Iowa State without that test score and still be considered for admission. If you decide to go that route, if you look in that bottom right-hand corner there, we are going to look really hard at your core courses and your GPA for admission, and we're going to conduct an individual review of your application. We'll talk a little bit about that next too. So when you're ready to apply, you are going to go to our website. There's going to be a little apply tab up at the top there. You're going to self-report all of that information that I just mentioned. So you'll input those core courses, even the ones that you're planning on taking your senior year. You'll input that GPA, and then remember, for this year and next year, that ACT is optional. So you can choose to leave that section blank. If you do have a score and you're really proud of your score and want us to have that, you can certainly put that in there, but it's not required. Now, normally we have what is called a rapid response application. Because we use that RAI formula, it's pretty easy for us to determine whether a student is admissible to Iowa State. And so we will usually send them an email within a few minutes, letting them know whether they've been accepted or not. Because we're using that individual review process this year, it is a little bit different, and it usually takes us about 2 to 3 weeks to process those applications. So just know that if you don't hear back from us right away and you're undergoing that individual review, it's just that we're looking over that application. Now, since my audience is juniors today, there's a really awesome opportunity at the bottom of the screen there. That's called our CAP program or our Cyclone Advantage planning program. That is a great opportunity for you to just get a little jump start into your college process. If you're really interested in Iowa State, I would definitely suggest filling it out. Um, just like the application, you're going to fill out your core courses, your GPA, your ACT, SAT score if you have one, and we are going to let you know your probability of being accepted to Iowa State. That way, if you're missing a core course, if you see maybe you need to get that GPA up a little bit, you still have time to do those things your senior year. This is a free program and it just takes a couple minutes to sign up. And as a little perk of the program, we will actually open up your real application about 2 weeks early. So normally the application is going to open up July 1st before your senior year. So just in a few months for you all. But we will open up the application around June 15th if you are one of our Cyclone Advantage Planning Program members. So if you're really excited about Iowa State, you know that's where you want to go, you can apply, get accepted, and accept your offer before anyone else in your grade. So like I said, if you guys are really interested, I would recommend filling that out right now so that you can get access to the application this summer. Now I want to transition a little bit into coursework because I know that a lot of students are starting to come in with some college credit now. So whether it be that AP credit or that dual enrollment credit, we will talk about both options here. Feel free to take a picture of the screen if you want these links for later, but if you look at that top paragraph there, an AP course is a course where you have to take that test at the end of the semester in order to get that credit. So if you're in a class like that AP course, you can go to that website right there and it will show you all of the AP courses that we take and what score is required to get that college credit. Down below in that second paragraph, you will see a transit website on there. If you are taking a course where you're already getting that college credit in the high school, so one of those dual enrollment courses, many of you may be getting some DMAT credit, I would use that transit website and you will be able to see how that DMAT course transfers into Iowa State. So both of these are awesome resources. I definitely recommend you check them out if you're going to be coming in with some college credit. The last thing I want to talk about today is cost of attendance and financial aid. So you can see on the screen here, we have our estimated cost of attendance. This is for this year. Next year, it could be a little bit different, but usually they're all about the same. So you can see we got our tuition and fees, room and board, books and supplies. But let's go ahead and talk about how you're going to pay for all of this. There are three things that I like to talk about when I talk about financial aid. And that first one actually doesn't apply to all of you quite as much. Those are our automatic merit awards. You all, as you'll hear in a little bit, are actually in the ISU for You Promise program, which means that you are already getting some type of tuition award. So it could be a partial award, it could be a full award, and we'll have a little bit better explanation after this presentation here. But since you are part of the ISU for You Promise program, you don't qualify for the merit awards. So we're going to go ahead and skip to the second one, which is our One App scholarships. Now, One App is a portal with thousands of different scholarships from the different departments here on campus, the colleges, different majors. So for example, if you're interested in engineering, let's say, the College of Engineering has their own pot of scholarships that they can give out to students. So what you do is you go in this portal and just like the name sounds, you're going to fill out one application, putting in some of your academic information, maybe answering a short essay or two, and then anything in that portal that you qualify for is automatically going to pop up. Now at that time, you may have an additional question or two to answer for those, but really you can just go down the line and submit all of those scholarships. So it's really nice for you. You don't have to dig through on your own to figure out what you qualify for. We are going to let you know right away. Now, the important thing to know about this portal is that it is only open to students who have been offered admission to Iowa State. So I always encourage students interested to go ahead and apply in the fall because this portal is usually going to be open from September 1st to December 1st. You can see on this slide, this is what our scholarships were for this year. Because of the pandemic, we adjusted those deadlines a little bit, but normally it's that September 1st to December 1st deadline. So it's going to be during that fall semester. So if you're interested in Iowa State, I would go ahead and apply this fall, get access to that portal, get that application turned in, and then come in the spring, you will find out if you won any of those scholarships. The third and final thing I like to mention is the FAFSA, or the Free Application for Federal Student Aid. This is a really important document because it's going to let you know what aid you qualify for from the federal government. So you could get some additional grants or funding. It's going to let you know what loans you also qualify for. So definitely get this in. Iowa State usually has a priority deadline, once again, of December 1st. You can see this past year, it was adjusted again for the pandemic to be December 20th. That is going to open up October 1st. So your guidance counselor would be a great resource if you need some help filling that out. I would definitely get that in before that December 1st deadline. And then once again, in the spring, you will find out what loans and what grants you qualified for. Here's just a nice checklist for you. If you want to take a picture of the screen, you are more than welcome to do so. So juniors, you can see some of those quick steps that we just talked about, but really that senior list is going to be really nice for you next year, just to make sure that you're completing all of those steps through the application process. And then in the spring, getting that housing, getting that orientation completed. So feel free to take a picture of this, and I'm happy to answer any questions at any time that you have next year about that admissions process. There's also just a page of resources for some of the different colleges. If you have really specific questions about your academic program, I would encourage you to reach out directly to your college. They are really the experts in the academic area. I can answer as many questions as I can, but I just know a lot of general information about the different majors. So if you're looking to know more about a 4-year plan, what a typical day is like for a student in that major, I would definitely reach out to the colleges directly. And lastly, here is my contact information. As I said, I am the admissions counselor for the Des Moines Public Schools. So as you're looking to apply to Iowa State next year, feel free to reach out to me at any time, and I would be happy to answer any questions that you have. I will leave this up for just a little bit if you want to copy down my contact information. But at this time, I'm going to turn it over to Shari, and she is going to talk a little bit about the ISU for You Promise program.
Well, thanks so much, Kate, and welcome everybody. It's great to see your faces here, and glad to have the panel and some additional people along the way. I wanted to just make a really quick introduction of myself. I'm Shari Miller, and I'm the program coordinator for the ISU for You Promise. And as Kate said earlier, if you have questions about your major or anything, actually feel free to reach out to me first, and then I can find the contact person for you. We have just this year set up a team, Microsoft team, for Des Moines Public School students who are ISU for You Promise students. And so I think most of you I have found on that communication hub already, but that is a really easy way to just shoot me a question during the day, and I have it on most of the day during the school or work day, and so I can respond to those questions as they come in. So that's the main thing I want to emphasize to you, is that reach out. When you have a question about anything, feel free to contact me. I can then get you to the right person that you need to talk to in that case. Also, I wanted to let you know, if you have questions about your tuition award, again, your tuition award is based on your attendance at King or Moulton Elementary School, and you will receive 20% tuition support for every year you were enrolled at either one of those schools. And so I have that official information in my data. If you have a question on exactly what your tuition award is, again, reach out to me through Teams or through email, and I can get you that official information. So basically, that's all I wanted to share with you today. I also wanted to introduce to you Dr. Katherine Richardson Bruna, who is here. She is the professor in charge of the ISU for You Promise and has been with this program since the beginning. Would you like to say any comments? Unmute.
Now you all can hear me. I was saying I'm thrilled that we're doing this. I think this is such a fabulous idea to be able to reach out to the to the juniors and get you all ready to come. It's been my job and my privilege to have spent the last 10 years designing and developing and delivering this program with the help now of Shari Miller. And so really, I just wanted to take time to make sure you all see me. You were much younger when I was in your elementary schools. So you may not remember, but I hold you all very dear. Every day I wake up and I think about you and the journey that you're making towards Iowa State. And I look forward to welcoming you on campus. And again, Shari and I are your support people who work with other on-campus and off-campus partners to make sure that the program's doing what it can do for you to make sure that you come to Iowa State and that you have a successful, happy experience. And that's all I wanted to say today. And I think we need to make sure that there's time for questions. And we also have Peter here is going to share some information about an app that can also be part of your support system at Iowa State.
Hi, everyone. My name is Peter Cruz, and I work with student success and retention across the university. So hopefully once you get here to Iowa State, any kind of resources you need to get connected to, whether it's tutoring or some of these, learning communities or anything, study abroad. I previously worked in study abroad, so that's a great opportunity you should take advantage of once COVID's over. I'm here to try to help with that. I was going to share my screen real quick. We do have a new mobile app. Uh-oh. Would I be able to share my screen, Kate? It says I am not able to.
Yeah, let me try and make you a panelist here.
Okay, sure. I'll just explain it real quick. So the Navigate mobile app, so this is something new. Some of our current Iowa State students might know, like our ISU appointment system. This is kind of becoming the Navigate mobile app. And so it's just a really good way to stay connected with resources and any important events coming up, anything you need to do. Is it letting me share? Oh, yep, it looks like it's letting me share. Perfect. Okay, so I just wanted to show you a couple screen grabs. Pretty standard app, just a to-do list. And so here you see literally just like register for orientation. So we'll push these notifications out to you from, the summer before your first year all the way through your journey up to graduation. There'll be a reminder to apply to graduate. And so this is just a couple of visuals. Anytime you want to meet with your advisor, you don't have to dig in your email or go on the website and find them. It will all live here in the app. So you can just tap on them and schedule appointments really easily with anybody across campus. If you need help with tutoring, you want to talk about the honors program, anything like that. And some really cool features too are reminders. It'll push reminders if you have, you got a parking ticket and you need to pay that before you can register for classes. It happens. It's one of the most common things probably that happens. So this is a really convenient way. So all the time you can stay connected and you don't fall behind and miss a registration or something like that because you owed like a $10 parking ticket. And again, it will remind you about registration, career fairs, all kinds of really cool and important events across campus. So this is just kind of one new tool we're hoping will help kind of ease the process once you're here. It can be a little bit overwhelming. Iowa State is great because there's so many resources, but then it can feel overwhelming because there's so many resources. So this is just a way to kind of make it more manageable and really user-friendly through the mobile app to help you on your journey while you're here at Iowa State and help you graduate. So just wanted to introduce that to you all.
All right, thank you all so much. We are going to move to the panel portion now. So students, this is your time. If you want to know anything about what it's like to be a college student at Iowa State, go ahead and open up that chat feature at the bottom and start dropping some of those questions in. This is your chance to hear from an actual college student. So while you're thinking of some of those questions, I'm going to go ahead and ask them to introduce themselves. So panelists, I will call out your name to have you unmute and ask or answer a question. So we will start with Ashley and then Laura. If you want to give me your names, where you're from, your major, and your year here at Iowa State.
Hi, I'm Ashley Woods. I'm from Waterloo. I'm a junior and I double major in mechanical engineering Spanish and I minor in sustainability. And then, yeah.
Hi everyone, my name is Laura Hyinck. I'm a junior in aerospace engineering and I'm from the Chicago area.
All right, we'll go to Harry and then Jasani and Darrick.
Hey everyone, my name is Harry. I'm currently a senior in management. I'm from Des Moines, Iowa.
Hey everyone, my name is Jasani Whitehead. I am a senior in management information systems with a minor in business and technology consulting. I am from Grundy Center, Iowa.
Hey everyone, my name is Darrick Burrage. I'm a junior in performing arts, focusing in acting and directing, and I'm born in Des Moines, Iowa, born and raised.
All right, awesome. Well, don't forget to put your questions in there. We will start off just a little bit about the admissions process. I'd love to hear about how you all decided to apply to Iowa State. So why don't we go through, talk about when you applied, what you found helpful during that application process, and what ended up making you choose Iowa State. So we'll go in the same order. Ashley, we'll start with you.
So I just remember applying to the schools that I wanted, and Iowa State was one of them because I knew I wanted to do engineering. But the actual admissions process was kind of confusing for me, only because I'm a first generation student. My mom couldn't help me. The advisors at my school weren't very helpful, but I was able to apply and get admitted, and I based my decision off of the opportunities I would have and the financial aid that I was receiving from the school.
All right, Laura, if you want to go next.
Yeah, so I applied actually the summer before my senior year of high school. I kind of already knew where I wanted to go. I didn't apply to very many schools. And that was also because there weren't a ton of schools in the Midwest that had aerospace engineering, and Iowa State did. And then after that, I was able to participate in Scholars Day, which used to be a February event where they would let admitted students come onto campus and kind of wander around and see your major and meet people in your major. And that was really cool. And I think I based my decision mostly on that. I got to come around and hang out on campus and meet a lot of really great people, some professors, and my advisor too. So that was really awesome.
Hey guys, so for me, man, it was like years ago. I think the application process for me, it was pretty easy. I just kind of just went to the website and just followed the directions on there. I think I based my decision to go to Iowa State just because I wanted to go to a big school. I wanted to meet new people and then see all the different opportunities that there are out there. But also I needed to stay close to home as well. That was something my mom asked for. It was mandatory. So that's why I picked Iowa State. Ames at Des Moines is only a 30-minute drive, so I'll be able to go home like every other weekend or so. Other than that, yeah, that was my experience. Mm-hmm.
So ironically, I wasn't even planning on going to college. I got one of my advisors in high school had told me about a different scholarship program that I was likely eligible for. So I applied for admission to Iowa State. I was a 3.94 student in high school. So I got admitted pretty quickly. However, most of my decision was based on the receipt of a full tuition scholarship. So that was really great for me. And then it actually allowed Harry and I to reconnect. Harry and I were like best friends in like second grade when we went to or no, not second grade, it was like fourth grade when we went to school in Des Moines. So that scholarship program actually brought us together and then introduced me to some really great people. So I'm happy with my decision.
Yeah, let me just jump in real quick. Yeah, the scholarship was one of the big reasons. I went with the money move is what I did.
Same for me.
Yeah, I mean, my admission process was pretty easy, especially because I'm a proud recipient of the ISU for You scholarship. The money moves was real, paid for my tuition, and it still is. And it's it was really easy in that path for me. I knew I wanted to go to ISU since basically middle school, so I lucked out in that regard. But obviously, I didn't have to choose Iowa State. So even so, just like coming to the campus, seeing it, actually experiencing some of the faculty and staff, realizing that this is a nice place to grow, as well as like Harry said, not too far from home. So yeah, my admission process was very simple and was very helpful with all the different people that I came across.
Well, thank you all for sharing. Yeah, I am happy to help any of you as you're looking to navigate that admissions process next year when you're going to start applying to schools. So feel free to reach out. We do want it to be an easy process, but I know sometimes things can get confusing, especially with technology. So make sure that you're reaching out to someone if you need any help with that application. Now let's shift gears a little bit and let's talk about involvement at Iowa State. So really quickly, panelists, just raise your hand if you are involved in some kind of club, organization, or leadership on campus. All of them are, awesome. So let's go through. We are going to go in reverse order this time. So we'll start with Darrick and go ahead and talk about maybe a couple clubs and organizations that you're involved in and maybe how students can get involved once they get on campus.
Yeah, so I mean, I love film and television. So coming to Iowa State, that was something I really wanted to have some type of area in. Iowa State has like tons of opportunities and that kind of stuff, but as far as like the actual curriculum goes, it's kind of lost in the shuffle a little bit. But throughout that, I found improv is something that I've always loved to do in high school, improvisational acting on stage, and two different clubs that I'm a part of that are part of improv. There's the Improv Comedy Club. That's one time a week, just like really low effort, low kind of costs in terms of just like going to having to perform in front of people. It's a fun time, and I love to do that. And I'm also the president of Grandma Mojo's. It is a on-campus improv troupe. We do different shows every other Wednesday in the M Shop. We're just now getting into in-person shows this semester, which was a very nice treat. So that's what I've been a part of, and I've had a great experience with that. And I found out these opportunities just from going to different like networking events. We had like the initial club fair, a club fest or whatever it's called, that we do at the beginning of the year. I'm not sure how it would work in the current situation that we're in, but hopefully in the fall, that's a lot like big open event like it used to be. So just stuff like that, reaching out to people that will eventually lead you into a nice rabbit hole of opportunities.
And then Jasani, and then we'll go to Harry.
Yes, you're right. Okay, cool. So me, I actually over the past couple of years haven't been super involved in clubs, but my freshman and sophomore year I was in IRHA, which was like the Inner Residence Hall Association. Essentially, it was a extension of student government for people who lived in on-campus housing. So that was pretty cool. I was a senator and ambassador or whatever for those for that program. I am a peer mentor for my scholarship program. I have been for all the years, 3 years now. And then, kind of the biggest thing, I take a lot of pride in my involvement with the ISU for You program. I've been linked up with with Shari for through since my sophomore year, and it's been a great experience helping out and jumping into those activities. So, I mean, there's a lot more stuff I could have got involved in, but it just depends. My curriculum is relatively difficult, so sometimes you have to pick and choose your battles. So I didn't have a lot of time for clubs there, but there's a ton of opportunities. Like Darrick said, Club Fest is huge. There's a bunch of people there. It's kind of overwhelming, but it's definitely fun, and you could find your people.
So the current club that I'm heavily involved with is called the Multicultural Business Network Club. Being that I'm a business major, I wanted to get involved with something that would help with my development of professional skills and networking. So I've been doing that for about 3 years now, and I'm currently holding a cabinet position there. I'm just the secretary. So in that club, we do a lot of reaching out to different employers and bringing them in just to help our students create a network. Essentially, the earlier you start, the better it is. But other than that, over the years, I've tried just about everything. One of my hobbies is photography, so I did a little bit of the photography club, did that for about a year. And then I'm also involved with the ISU for You Promise program. I've been doing that since my freshman year. I remember when I first started here, I was an open option student, and I was just researching about all the different things I could get involved with. And I found this program, and the fact that it was connected to my hometown, I wanted to give back to the same community that gave to me. And yeah, so at Iowa State, there's plenty of clubs, if not clubs, just different organizations and other activities that you can get involved with. Intramural, it's a good thing too. I did volleyball and I did basketball as well. I also did a foosball tournament. It was something random, but didn't do too well, but it was a fun experience. So there's a bunch of things you can get involved with here.
Yeah, there's so much to do. The Club Fest is really awesome that these guys have been talking about. And then for me, coursework was a lot my freshman and sophomore year, so I didn't have too much time to join outside clubs. But for the past year and a half, I've been involved in this class that's also a club called Make to Innovate. It's for any of the engineers or any science, math majors on campus. And they put you in different projects. Some of them are projects for NASA, for Boeing, or for campus. And then mine that I'm working on right now is a project for Boeing, and we're trying to build a robot to transport an airplane wing across their facility. So that's been really, really cool to work on. I've been able to lead the automation, so the coding team, we're in charge of all the movements, and it's really great. It's a bit of a time commitment, but it is so freaking cool. But besides that, office on campus, which is the Women in Science and Engineering. And what we do is we're able to connect with women in science engineering students, so STEM students. And we're able to get them involved a lot more on campus and create this great community. And there I work as a student role model, and I'm able to do events like this and to talk to future Iowa State students or even just K through 12 students interested in STEM opportunities.
I'm pretty involved on campus as well. So I have 2 leadership positions. I'm a CA for Richardson Court, Building 72, and then I'm also a peer mentor for ME 190, which is for mechanical engineering students, and also undecided engineering as well. So those are my 2 leadership positions. And then I also like to do things for fun, like I'm a part of Deb Age. I'm also part of the tennis recreational club. And yeah, like being involved on campus is really important to me because it allows me to build upon my skills and also meet a lot of new people, which is like really important now during the current situation, because without clubs, I wouldn't see anyone on campus. So it's been really nice to be involved in. You're able to like develop your interests further in whatever club you're in. So yeah.
Thank you all so much for sharing. So many different things to be involved in on campus, as you can see, whether you want to do some leadership things, do some fun things, do some academic things, or you can do all of them, as some of these students have pointed out. So I would definitely recommend getting involved once you do come to Iowa State. Now, we did have a question in the chat. I know that sometimes the transition from high school to college can be very difficult, especially for some of our first gen students, making that adjustment when you don't know what to expect. And so let's go ahead. We'll hear from a couple of you here about maybe that adjustment that you made from high school to college, maybe some of the biggest differences you saw and some of the challenges you had and what you did to be successful here. So Ashley, we'll start with you and then we'll hear from Darrick.
Awesome. So I am a first generation student, and the transition from high school to college was definitely not easy because I didn't have like financial support from my family. I had the emotional support and the love, but that can only get you so far in your classes. So it was kind of difficult to figure out like how to get to the buildings on campus. I didn't take a tour of Iowa State. I kind of went in blind in that aspect as well. So the one thing that really came in handy for me was utilizing professors and also utilizing advisors. My current advisor, he's going to be the reason I graduate. I love him so much. Any question you have, you can go to them and they will do their best to help you and get you the resources that you need. And even talking to professors, like if you're not feeling confident in your classes, they really do want you to succeed. So I see that, like you're saying, college can be unforgiving sometimes, I guess in a sense, maybe with grades, but really if you talk to your professor, they're here for you. So for me, it's really communication that helped me with my transition to college, because I really had no idea what was going on, but talking to people helped me a lot.
Yeah, I definitely agree with the communication thing. I mean, coming into Iowa State, like I had this nice group of people that all had the same major as me that I met like early on. So that was really nice. The performing arts is kind of like a tighter knit group of people. It's not like a huge major up here at Iowa State. But additionally, coming in with the people that had the same scholarship as me definitely established that sense of unity. But once you got out of that, it was kind of just me on my own of a little bit there, until I really like actually started to talk to people, talk to my advisors, my professors, people that are like their main job is for me to succeed. So within that, it helped me to understand that I was not alone. And then it also kind of made me more comfortable to put myself more out there, to join clubs, to really connect to people in that regard. So now I'm not alone. I can turn to people whatever I need to actually talk to them about something real, whether that be educational wise, or as my advisors love to talk about me as an individual, things that are going on in my head that have nothing to do with college, things that are impacting me progressing through college. And those are important things that make the college unforgiveness that may be seen at first very nice and easy to go through, especially coming right out of high school, a place that's like all you do is talk to people on a day-to-day basis. Whereas now in college, sometimes I don't talk to people at all in the day. I'm just sitting here on my laptop getting stuff done. So it really helps to alleviate some of that stress.
Pick me. I want to go next.
All right,
Okay.
Jasani, I was just gonna say, let's hear from one more. So
Yeah. So my journey at Iowa State has been a little different. So in high school, as I mentioned, I was like a 3.9 something something something. I didn't really try in high school. Didn't have to. It was great. Got to college, brought that same attitude into college, and I failed hard my first semester of college. Big wake up call. And a lot of it was just due to just I was not prepared, and I didn't have the mindset for the amount of work we were going to be doing. So it's not necessarily harder. You just got to adjust your approach to it, as I guess I would say it. Also, a big part of like how easy or difficult your college journey is going to be is if you choose the right major, and you do have some time to do that. So I came in Iowa State as a software engineering major, realized very quickly that software engineering was not what I loved to do, and it was very difficult for me. So I changed after I think 8 weeks in my first semester. I changed to a business major, and I've excelled ever since. And just know that like just because in your mind you have this idea of like how this journey is going to go, it's all right if you change it, if you have to pivot, to make sure that you could stay successful, and ultimately get that piece of paper at the end of the road.
that is a great point. That is one of the differences that I see between high school and college. High school, you have a very select course of classes that you're taking each year. A lot of it is predetermined. And once you get to college, you get a lot more freedom to go into subject areas that you're interested in. And so finding which major is going to be the best fit for you can make a huge difference. And it's okay if you want to change your major. I'm sure some of these students here have changed their major before. You will see that there are some students on campus who maybe changed their major 4 or 5 times. And as I mentioned earlier, entering as that open option student is a perfectly all right choice to come in until you do figure out what you want to do. Really quickly, by show of hands, I also want to see, did any of you use any kind of tutoring services, learning communities, study groups to help get you through your first semester, first year? Awesome. So all 5 of them have used some kind of services, some kind of resource on campus to help them be academically successful. So don't be afraid to use some of those resources, whether it is that tutoring, whether it is forming a study group with some people in your classes. Definitely use some of those resources on campus. Okay, we have time for just about 1, maybe 2 more questions. So I'm going to ask all the panelists this. I want to know, why did you end up ultimately choosing Iowa State, and what is your favorite part about Iowa State? So we'll go back, we'll start with Ashley.
So because like when I applied, I got into actually all the colleges I applied for. So really it came down to money, and I'm blessed to say that I don't pay for school at Iowa State because of the scholarships that I receive. I'm a GWC scholar, and then I receive other scholarships. from the College of Engineering. So that was ultimately the reason why, because I didn't want to be in debt. And probably my favorite thing about Iowa State is like how recognized the engineering program is. Like graduating as an ME with a minor in sustainability, I know that I'll be able to get a job like as soon as I graduate. Like I've had an internship every single year. I've even had an internship outside of the country. And it's really because like I go to a great school with a great program. So I'm really happy that I'm here.
Yeah, I would agree with that. The opportunities are what sold me. Everyone, like the advisors, counselors, other students, you hear them talk about everything they did, the internships, the career fairs, like job placement for engineering is 96%. It's absolutely insane. It's so awesome. But my favorite thing about campus is probably the people. I've never been surrounded by so many like-minded people as I am, and it's really, really cool because you're in the same clubs, you're in the same classes. It's really easy to make a good little bond with the people in your major.
Yeah, I would agree with Ashley. My ultimate decision was because I was able to get the Multicultural Vision Program scholarship. So that's called the MVP scholarship. I'm thankful that I'm able to go to college tuition free as well. But also the other ultimate decision, as Laura mentioned, was the people. I just remember during my admissions process and communicating back and forth about my high school transcripts and all that, like everybody was very helpful and everybody just seemed very nice. So, but one of my favorite things about Iowa State is just that there's always something going on in every corner, whether it's like a food club or just a random event in the middle of campus. You can show up and see what's going on there. So the fact that there's always something going on was what sold me as well.
For me, yep, it's the the money component. Again, I was not I'm not paying any tuition for all of my 4 years of college. Kind of the biggest reason why I love Iowa State is I've become very closely connected to different organizations and that have passion points of mine. So I mentioned ISU for You. I'm also very involved with the Multicultural Student Affairs Office. Um, Harry and I are both the recipients of the Multicultural Vision Program scholarship. Another really cool thing. So I've been like working my entire college stint here, and actually being able to work with the Business Career Services Office, and have them look over my resume and give me career coaching and everything, just so I could be absolutely ready for a job when I graduate. Is what I believe, led me to a job offer, an internship at Amazon when I graduate. So that was really cool. So I think there's a lot of really great things that Iowa State has to offer that often get overlooked. So I'd be excited to see, what you guys find that you love at Iowa State and how they can help you succeed.
Yeah, financial was definitely a huge thing, as well as location. That actually is like my favorite thing about Iowa State. Like it's a college town, and every like just walking through the campus, like especially a day like this, blue skies, nice greenery everywhere. It's a really nice sight to see. It really helps me, like when I'm going from class to class, to not be like entirely dreadful of going to that class. Like just looking around, actually like taking out the earpods, just like enjoying that moment of life. It's pretty nice. And just like the locations around Iowa State are very nice. There's a small town, there's tons of like local shops, stuff like that. You can like walk around just like the perimeter of like town. You can find a lot of interesting stuff. It's a really good time, and it's really like a comfortable area. Like coming to Iowa State, it was never like any type of like fear and anxiety between the people, just being really comfortable between like just like the scenery. Like it's a really good time. So all that grouped in together is what really made me like it a lot. That's like my favorite aspect of it.
Well, thank you so much to our panelists for being here today. This was awesome to hear your stories, your experiences. I hope this was helpful to our junior Des Moines students here as you're looking to start that college process. Like I said, if you have any questions, feel free to reach out to us. I'm sure any of these students would love to connect with you too if you had any more questions for current college students Like I said, I would love to help you with that admissions process. Shari's always available if you have those ISU for You questions. So don't be afraid to reach out. I will hang on the meeting a little bit longer if any of you have some last minute questions. But otherwise, thank you all so much for coming today.